going to give an overview now of the Xvision Full HD IP dome camera that you see in front of you here. Okay, so I'll just give an overview first with the accessories that come with it and what's inside the outer pack. So it comes in this presentation box here, and what we have then is the first thing is an actual template that we'd use, place it on the ceiling and mark out the 3 holes that we'd use for actually mounting the base of the camera onto a ceiling, for instance. It can be mounted on a wall, but nearly always onto a ceiling. We have a mini IP dome camera user manual here, and then we also have a mini CD with both the software and the user manual on it. And finally we have 3 plugs and 3 screws with an Allen key as well that we'll use in a few moments here. And the screws and plugs here are obviously used for mounting the camera. So what I'm going to use now is the Allen key that comes with the set, and if I could just simulate it here, rotating here, I just take off and loosen these 3 screws to remove the cover from the actual base of the camera itself, okay? And at that point, it'll simply lift up. I'm just going to point out 1 or 2 things here first of all. You'll see here we have the 3 screws, but when we loosen them off, they don't fall out. They're actually locked into position here, and it's very handy because if you're adjusting this, you can't actually loose the screws on it, which is cool. And then the other thing about it is when we're wondering where to run the cable in, we can see it's marked out here that the cable goes in at that point, so that's convenient as well. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move this out of the way, and we'll come along and we'll focus on the camera itself. So it has onboard storage here, so there's an SD card can slot in here. The significance of that is both for local storage, but also we'll say if we come along, we have it set up in the network, and we're doing waiting for a motion sensor to pick up an actual action to have occurred. If we want to greatly increase the frames per second to a speed higher than what the network can support, we can actually store the action onto this SD card and buffer it and feed it back down the network at a later point. So that's why the SD storage can be so convenient, apart from the actual storing it onto a card that is removable itself. And also then we have a reset button here. So if we come along, we can actually just press the reset button. So if we change some software settings, etc. on it, we can just return to our default settings on it. Now when it comes to actually adjusting the camera itself, the first thing to note is that when we get it, it'll actually be locked in position. So if we try to move it here and adjust it, it won't work. So we have to use something like this Phillips key to come along, and we just undo the screw here and the screw here. And that will allow us to, from having it in a totally vertical position like this, where we can adjust it here and get it honestly totally horizontal down like this. So you can aim it directly forward, okay? And also when we have it here, we might want to focus in and out the camera. So once again, it will be locked in position. What we can do here is we can use this Allen key, or this Phillips screwdriver here again, and if you can see the screw here, we can just adjust that and loosen it off, and it'll mean that we can come along and we can focus the camera here. So we just rotate it here, you can see, and just let it in or out, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is actually come along, I'm just going to connect this in so we can view the output of the camera. So the way we have this set up here, I'm just going to get, if we look at the cable here, it's coming from the camera. We have 2 sockets on it. One is a 2.1mm DC power socket, and the other is a network socket here. So this is obviously for power, and this is here, in this case we'll be just feeding back the picture to this switch that we have here, and coming off this switch we have an NVR that's connected to this monitor. So the first thing we do is we'll just connect in, we do it in either order, but we'll just connect in the Ethernet cable in here, and we'll connect this to our power supply, which in this case is a 12 volt 2 amp power supply. So we can see that's working there now. I'm just going to turn this camera around. So we'll see anyway, if you're thinking that it instantaneously gives a picture, it doesn't. It takes about 45 seconds to kick in. And the other thing to note is that we have this actually configured to work in conjunction with the NVR and the switch here with the camera. So if you try to plug this directly in, most likely it wouldn't work for you directly. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just do a quick overview of some other points on it. This is it's weather resistant, the dome camera itself, and it's also vandal resistant. Significance of that is that we can lock it into position, and also a cover goes over to it. So if somebody came up and tried to push the camera out of position, it wouldn't push out of position. So some of the key advantages, the picture has come on there, it's probably noted in the background, but it's out of focus, so I'll adjust that in a few moments. Just another couple of advantages on this particular one is, and IP cameras in general, I would say the first thing is its network ability, the fact you can feed it into a network, connect on extra cameras, etc. you know, is excellent because most places have a network set up already. And then the other thing about it is the picture resolution that's achievable here is extremely high. This camera here is capable of 2 megapixels, so that means compared to anything we say from the analog field, that's massive in terms of resolution. It's simply unbeatable, and that's why IP cameras are becoming so increasingly popular. Now, in terms of limitations on this particular camera, one of the key things is that it's there's no IR, no infrared, so it's not possible for you know, nighttime recording. Let's say if we don't have a background light, something like that. So what I'm going to do here is, we can see this is out of focus here. So what I'm going to do is, as I showed you earlier, I've loosened off the thing, and we'll just try to adjust this and see can we bring this into focus. And we see we're focused it in here now. But the first thing you'll notice here is that everything is upside down. And that's obvious because normally the camera will be mounted the other way, which of course will be like this, and suspended from the ceiling. Okay, so you can see the picture resolution there from a few meters away. Is absolutely fantastic. So that, as I said, that's one of the key advantages of the IP camera itself. So that's it anyway, an overview of the Xvision Full HD IP dome camera.